Most memorable? I've got so many most memorables. I can talk about my first week here in training. You know, when I first realized that I really liked this job, was we used to do a lot of off-site landings back when I first started, and we'd landed out in Statesville area for the balloon festival, and we landed out and covered a really bad accident. We've just been out to off-site quite a bit that week to cover a lot of different things, and they were all different. They were all different. So, and that's the thing that I really love about this job, is that it's always different. I mean, yes, we have the same breaking news stories, large fires, big crashes, but they're all different in some way. Lately, the riots in Charlotte have been a big issue. We flew a lot on those issues downtown. We've also flown on the UNCC shooting recently, very recently. I've flown a lot of different things, but they're all memorable. Yeah, we have had a lot of chases in Charlotte in recent years, especially. I mean, I've done police chases quite a bit, even throughout my career, but it seems like a lot of them lately. And as far as difficulty following, we have to coordinate a lot with the other aircraft in there, especially with the police down there, and with air traffic control. So that's probably the most difficult thing, is keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody out of harm's way in and around the airport, especially. But I know these streets very well. I've been here a long time, so I mean, I can generally keep up with exactly what he may or may not do, as far as he or she, as far as when they try to elude the police. And it's coordinating with the photographer as well, because I like to give them somewhat of a heads up on what we're going to be doing with the aircraft, if it's a sharp right turn, sharp left turn, that sort of thing. But yeah, most of our photographers here do a great job. They actually, it's not easy, to keep the Sky Zoom camera on these perpetrators. My favorite part about being a pilot for a TV station, again, it's just the excitement and the satisfaction of bringing breaking news to our viewers, that we get there first, we get there and get the great pictures, and we send them to your television. And I get a lot of satisfaction from that. I mean, especially when it's an event that really affects a lot of people. I really like to be able to say that I've gotten the best pictures and the best information, visual information in my case, directly to the viewers, quickly. About 120 miles an hour, yeah, and that's as the crow flies, obviously. So I mean, we can get to the scene pretty quickly that way. My longest flight, it's been several where we've pretty much maxed out for the day, but my longest one is going to be the UNCC shooting. That's most recently. I mean, that's just several months ago, but. I had already been flying for a couple hours, a few hours before, and then ended up flying all afternoon and all night on the shooting there. So that was a long day. Great coverage. We got there first on the scene right with the police helicopter, and was able to actually get some really good footage and get it on the air quickly. The original Chopper 9 was piloted by 2 or 3 pilots starting in 1979, and then Rick Gilliland, a longtime pilot here, flew here for about 10 years, from the early 80s to mid 90s. Yeah, he was a great pilot here. He was kind of in our in the phase of Channel 9 where we ascended to be the dominant news station here in Charlotte. And when he left, they brought in another pilot for about a year, and I took over from him in 1995. It's changed, when I first got here, they were shooting off the shoulder. The photographers were shooting actually off the shoulder and we would bring up a reporter, and they would actually look at the reporter as they were kind of turned around in their seat from the back to the front there. They would move the camera smoothly out to the side and zoom in on the breaking news that way. So real dynamic shot, but it was kind of rudimentary. We had a stabilized lens at the time, so it was somewhat of a steady shot when they first started out here. But yeah, so I mean that was how we originally started out, and didn't have GPS, so we relied a lot on maps and it's called Loran, which was kind of a triangulation type that the boats use a lot, and that sort of navigation system. But then GPS came along. As I was saying before, I mean, we use GPS coordinates to get us pinpoint exactly to wherever the breaking news is off the pad. Obviously, the camera technology has changed a lot. I mean, in 1997, when we were the first station here in Charlotte to get a stabilized zoom camera, that was a game changer. I mean, that was where we were able to zoom in. Didn't have the zoom power that this one does, but it was still a really good camera. Get good stable shots from the back seat. Reporters could concentrate on the camera, the talent camera there in the front, and then we just had a digital switcher where we would just switch over the shots to the ground. So yeah, that's the technology that's changed with the camera system, and that's actually changed over the years so that we've got an HD camera now with a higher zoom power. So we were able to actually get a lot of good shots. Charlotte's always been a busy airspace area, and it's only gotten busier. It's still what's called Class B airspace. In other words, it's some of the busiest airspace in the country. But the controls here are really good as far as they know me and they know the helicopter and they know what we need and what we need to do to get the pictures that we need. Obviously, there's some areas around the airport that you can't fly around, but generally we're able to get to where we need to go to get whatever breaking news is there. As far as flight restrictions go, I mean, you're always going to have flight restrictions. It seems like as Charlotte has grown, there are more and more flight restrictions, generally based on presidential visits and major sporting events, things like that. But we work around those, and again, we can sometimes get over top of them, on top of them, and then we can sometimes work around them, fly through them, that sort of thing, as we're talking to approach control. I've been here 24 years. I've been at the station longer than anybody else, any other pilot that is. And we've shuffled quite a few reporters and anchors over the years. There are several photographers that are here at Channel 9 that have been here my entire tenure, Bill Bruce being one. I appreciate what Channel 9 does to keep Chopper 9 here and flying to bring people the news. Because it's a valuable tool. You can't get the sort of pictures that we get any other way, quickly, the way that we get them. And the technology is not here to change that anytime soon. I just really love what I do. Been here a while, love it. Love every minute I've been here at Channel 9.